Good morning, everyone. Welcome to class today. So what I want to go over today is something called theme. Many of you have heard of this term before. You would have started learning about this in the 6th, 7th grade. So what are some things you know about theme? What do you think theme means? Might provide me an example of what they think a theme is. Right here, the students may respond, theme is the main idea of what the story is about. Or they may respond, give me a summary of a text or of a movie to say this is what the theme is. A student may say, for example, in the book, The Promise of a Pencil by Adam Braun, they may say the theme of that book is Adam travels all over the world and gives pencils to everyone, and it shows how something insignificant and small, which would be an acceptable version of an answer for this question, but it is very lengthy, and I'm going to show them how to minimize that throughout this course. So each student to get with a partner. With your partner, I want you to talk about what we kind of just went over, and then you give me what you and your partner think theme actually is, give a definition, and then we'll reconvene in about 2 minutes. So at this time, I would walk around, kind of listen to the conversations about what the students think it is. For management, I would keep them on task. So I'm going to wait till about the 3.5 minute mark, and I'll continue with my lesson. So here also, I may hear out what a summary is or what the main idea of something is, which is a common misconception of what theme is in a text or a movie, especially for this age, early high school, adolescent. You're going to get a lot of confusion between main idea, summary, and theme. So as I'm hearing them discuss that, that's an issue I'm encountering. So they're going to have trouble identifying what the differences between a summary, main idea, and theme are. And in the middle school age where they would have previously learned about this stuff, it's easy to confuse the different concepts because they're so similar, but yet they have different parts and there are 3 different elements within the story. So again, just during this last 30 seconds, I'm going to walk around, kind of see what students are talking about so that I can clarify when I start giving my mini lesson on the differences between these 2 things. All right, everyone, if you'll get back in your seats, we're going to go over the differences between these things and kind of figure out what theme is. So based on what you talk about, what do you think theme is? So I'm going to call on Jan and Stacy, who work together. And Jan says, I think theme is a main idea of the text. And I will reply, I agree with what you say. I see how this can be kind of confusing. Let's talk about it a little more. And I would ask Stacy, what do you think this is? And Stacy would say, well, what we kind of talked about is we kind of think it's more of the main idea or what the story's about. Great, you're kind of heading in the right direction. I can see how you would think it could be like the main idea of the story, and I think that's a very valid point to make because it is part of theme. So now I'm going to Hunter and Jake and ask Hunter, what do you think that theme is? What do you and Jake think theme is? I think it's kind of like the message or like in Shrek, if we were to say like the theme of Shrek would be about how these 2 characters go around and they try to save this princess and then they find out more about themselves and all that. So that's going to be Hunter's answer. So I would probably take 2 or 3 more answers and just, encourage them. Say, yep, I can see why you think that. And then I would give them a few-minute discussion about how, if one person disagreed with the other. So let's say Jan and Jake disagree. Jake thinks it's more of like the main idea or like what the story's about, and Jan thinks it's more of um, or more of what a true main idea is. I would kind of give them like some time to do that through like a Socratic method to encourage discussion and keep everyone engaged. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I am going to give a discussion about what the different elements are. Okay. So here, students would have had about 10 minutes to talk about what they think it is and how if there are differences between the ideas, how can we come up with one solid definition? So after, they talk about it, I would ask the group to give me one definition of what they think theme is. So for instance, let's say they gave me the main idea of what the story's about. So for that, I would say, that's very good, class. Theme is what the story is about. So theme really is like the universal truth of a film or any piece of work you read, or it could be, the life lesson or the main message of a text. So meaning, in The Great Gatsby, we could say that the theme would be, through all these people's lives, we say the theme was learning to be yourself and learning to value what you like and being honest. Theme wouldn't be love. Theme is going to be a one sentence or so answer. It's not going to be, love, betrayal, dishonesty, trust. Those are like main ideas of a text. So it's easy to see why, maybe Jan or Stacey would confuse main idea with theme because it's a part of it. So, if we say like the main idea of The Great Gatsby is love. Okay, yes, that is true. But we're going to kind of take what we know about love and we're going to transform it into a sentence to give a solid theme. So we could say, Jay Gatsby's love for Daisy caused him to go through extensive measures to prove himself, to prove his worth for this one girl. Okay, so if we say, okay, that's what we're kind of thinking when we say love is the main idea of the story. So maybe we could come back and, all the students, I would have them discuss, how can we make this idea of love become a one universal theme or one life lesson of this text. So at this point, they would have read The Great Gatsby. They would know what's going on. So we would talk about it. So, let's say Hunter came up and said, love can lead to a lot of betrayals and distrust among people if someone gets brokenhearted. Great, Hunter. That's a great example of what a theme could be for this text. We do have those elements. We take what we know about the text, and then we come up with some main ideas, some main points, and then make it into the theme. We come up with a life lesson. So to break this down even further, let's go through what main idea is. So main idea, like I said, those are going to be like your bullet points. Those are going to be like love, betrayal, dishonesty. Those are going to be those ideas that we're like, okay, yeah, that could be an element of the story, or that could be a topic within the story. So main idea is going to lean more towards that one word topic of what you come across in the text. Now, summary, we've all heard this term summary. Summaries are, in the text, I'm going to say, if we look at the movie Shrek, for example, I would say, Shrek lives on this swamp. He meets a donkey that talks. They go on this journey to save a princess. And once he saves the princess, they have to fight for her. Once he figures out he's kind of in love with her. And then, they end up getting married. So that would be a summary. So what I did there is take what I know about the movie. Now that I've seen the whole movie, I know what it's about. So if I were going to tell you, if you ask me, what is the movie Shrek about? That's what I would have just told you. That's going to be my summary. Now, we've kind of mentioned what theme is, so we're going to take that main idea, that summary, and then we're going to come up with like that universal message, that universal truth, or the life lesson that we learned through the text. So to understand theme, we do have to understand what is a summary. If I can summarize it, that means I understood what went on. I understood the different elements within the plot. And then I took what I know about the text and came up with some key ideas, if you will. So the key ideas, like for Shrek, love and being yourself. Those could be some main ideas of that movie, Shrek. Okay. So for that, and then combine them together, like I said, we're gonna make a theme. So what I want you to do is take the graphic organizer. So at this point, I would hand out a graphic organizer to everyone. Okay, I'm gonna take a minute to do that. So as I'm walking around, again, I would just ask for more examples of, can someone give me an example of theme in your favorite movie, or give me a summary of your favorite movie, or give me some main ideas of that movie. So if we came up with a movie everyone's seen, for instance, let's say they came up with the idea of Avengers, one of the new Avengers movies. Okay, so they said Avengers. So I'd be like, awesome, let's talk about Avengers. And they would say, some of the main idea, the main ideas of the text or the movie were making alliances, staying true to yourself, stuff like that. So they would throw out some main ideas. I'd be like, all right, so can somebody give me a brief summary of the Avengers, the Civil War movie? So someone would tell me, different things that happened within Civil War, and be like, okay, now that we've come up with some main ideas, we understand the summary, we understand what's going on, can you give me the idea of theme? Can you give, and I would let about 4 or 5 students kind of give me that, and we would kind of talk about it while I'm handing out these graphic organizers. So now that everyone has a graphic organizer, what I would like you to do is to get in a group of about 4 people. I have them set up in 4x4 pods, and I have 20 students, so I have 5 groups. So they're going to get with their pod, and they're going to come up. I'm going to assign them each a different movie. So I have five groups. First one's going to be The Lion King. The second group's going to be Finding Nemo. The third group is going to be Beauty and the Beast. The fourth movie is going to be The Little Mermaid. And the fifth movie is going to be Frozen. Those all have really good themes and good life lessons with them. So that's how I chose those movies. So each group is going to have about 5 to 10 minutes to kind of come up with that as they are filling out their graphic organizer. So in their graphic organizer, before they start this, I'm going to ask them to write the name of their movie at the top. So they're going to have their name, the date, their block, so their group members, and then the name of the movie they were assigned. And there are going to be 3 boxes: theme, main idea, and summary. So first, they're going to write down the definitions in the first set of boxes that say that. So they're going to say what they think summary is, what they think theme is, what they think the main idea is. Okay? Then next, they are going to have another set of boxes where it's going to say theme, summary, main idea. And they're going to fill it out for that movie. They're going to come up with it together and come up with different examples of themes. So one thing I will encourage while we're doing this is tell the students there can be more than one theme within a movie, or more than one theme within a text. You just have to be able to justify it, because literature is one of those things that is very interpretive. So that means what I read and get from a text is going to be different what you read, and then different what Hunter reads, or Jan reads, or Stacy reads. So because we all have different backgrounds and experiences that change the way we see everything. So, what I've experienced is going to influence me to think something different about a text than what Hunter and Jan and Stacy see. I want you to work in groups. I want you to talk about, what did you get from this movie? If you read The Lion King, some students may have had a father who passed away, so it may have a different or a deeper way. So I want you to talk about that and kind of gain an understanding of your peers and how they see things, and then come up with different things you think the movie is about. But make sure you do a very detailed theme. Remember, those are one sentences. Those aren't going to be those one bullet list kind of things. Those are going to be your main ideas. So I want you to come up with 3 to 5 main idea points. So, in The Lion King, you may have love, betrayal, friendship. Those are going to be your main ideas, and I want you to make a list of about 5 of those. Also, for summary, I just want you to give me, 4 to 5 sentence summary. Nothing extensive, nothing detailed. We've all kind of seen these movies. There may be a few of you who haven't. If you haven't seen the movie, rely on your classmates. Those are going to be your assets. Those are going to be your tools for this project. And then come up with different ideas. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to do that. So now that I've given you a few minutes to kind of come up with different themes and ideas within your story, I am to pull up different Disney movies on the board. So this is going to be an interactive game. The movie you pick, that's going to be your team name. You're going to be on a team. You will get points for each correct answer of theme, main idea, and summary for each of these movies. So here I would pull up YouTube and I would type in, let's say, for example, I would pull up Beauty and the Beast. So I would play a little clip from the movie, and I would ask the students, okay, so for this part of the movie, what is the theme? And then the first person to raise their hand would give me what the theme was of that section of the movie. So for Beauty and the Beast, let's say I pull up the ballroom scene. That's very iconic. So most would have seen it, would have heard the song, so they would kind of tell me what that's about. And I would do that, for a few, and, at the end, whoever received the most points is going to get a piece of candy. Okay, the team with the most points gets a piece of candy. So once that is over, I'm going to tell students to go ahead and pull out your Chromebooks and go into your Google Classroom. In your Google Classroom, you have an assignment that is called Disney Theme Response. So there, what I want you to do is just give me a 5 to 7 sentence paragraph on what you learned about theme. Tell me the difference between theme, main idea, and summary. If you really liked the lesson, tell me why. If you felt like you knew this already and it was just kind of a refresher, tell me that too. Tell me what you took away from this lesson so that I know if we need to recover it or if I need to go more in depth or what we need to do. So they would have the last 10, 15 minutes of class to do this journal response. So at the end of journal response, I would tell them to go ahead and pack away their Chromebooks. Class would ring, or the class bell would ring, and then tomorrow we will look at what some of the responses were, and we will talk about theme again. We'll clear up any confusion about it, but I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you.